Hello, hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome back to the Den of Shinrai. We've got week 3 of OBS. Let's not show the team right away. Let's show this, even though you've now seen the team. I'm sorry for not recording last week. I might be able to find the replay actually, and we can go over it very quickly because I have plenty of time to do this intro this week. I have planned it. But yeah, let's go over that first actually. Because week 1 we won 4-0, and then we've got this game, which. Let me find the paste for. I didn't actually plan on doing this, I've just decided to do it now because I thought it would be good. So let's do that. Put the paste in. This was last week's paste. I will give a very quick overview of it. Basically, I didn't want to run too much setup on anything because although I could have run setup, they had a ditto, and setup really let me then really counter sweep me really hard. Another thing I was very afraid of was their Komodo, which was Terra Steel. So Lele can't revenge kill it because Bulletproof blocks Focus Blast. So I've got a really gammy throat today, I'm so sorry. Let me have a drink. Anyone else would restart the recording, but not me. That's better. Now, I was like, right, there's 3 kinds of Komodo that's a setup that I could face. There is Clangor of Soul, probably with Throat Spray. There is SD, there's Belly Drum. And so I needed a plan for all of them. My plan for SD was Corviknight, because I go into... No, what was it? Oh no, my first switch to all of them was Milotic. Because Milotic, from full, it didn't... I think it lived a +6 Drain Punch. Not a Focus Blast, it lived a Drain Punch. And then I would haze it, and I'd spam haze until it was forced to kill me, and then it has no boost. It doesn't have Salac Berry anymore if it had that before. So that's all good, right? That would be done with. Same sort of plan if it was Milo. Milo on SD. And Corviknight more so on SD, because SD does not run Salac Berry. So I need to go Corviknight, take it with a U-turn. If it's already terrored, easy, go Medicham, close combat, it's gone. Because it's Terra Steel. I don't know what's going wrong with my voice today. Excuse me. Hopefully the music's not too loud. It was really loud in the Power Rankings video. So it's very, very quiet. I can barely hear it myself, but hopefully you'll hear it. Just enough. Yeah, Power Swap Lele was my safety net, if you like, against Belly Drum. Because if you aren't aware, what Power Swap does is it let me find the description. Swaps the special attack and attack changes of the user with the target. So if I have no special attack and attack changes, like, you know, I'm not at +1 attack or +2 special attack or anything like that, but they do, then I gain their boost and they gain my lack of a boost. It's not like Psych Up, it's you literally swap them, right? Heart Swap does it for all your stats, but Power Swap does it just for your offensive ones. Basically, because I'm Scarf Lele and Lele's faster than Komodo, even if they're Belly Drum Salac, I can come in on it, and though I can't beat it, I can take the Belly Drum. So that's big. I can take the Belly Drum from it, and if it's not gotten much health back from Drain Punching at that point, then they've got 2 weeks of Belly Drum again, and I'll be fine. So that's what I wanted to do. And that was the whole thing. Blissey was Chopple. So I could stay in on Komodo at least once and Thunderwave it so they wouldn't get a free setup. If they subbed on me, that would suck. But if they sub, I toss on the sub. If they then set up on me, then I sack Blissey, but then I can chip it down with Fake Out and Scarf Lele. If they attack, then I will take the attack and I'll T-Wave them the turn after. I will T-Wave them the turn after. So, you know, that was kind of a win-win. Milo was competitive because they had a Mega Scizor, and Milo was my switch into Mega Scizor, and Scizor was their only removal. So if I got Rocket or Blissey and I thought they were going to try and remove them, I went to Milotic to get the competitive boost. Pult was mixed. Sucker Punch for their DOS, which I've not even mentioned yet. Chopper was also for DOS, and that's why this EV spread is the way it is. I needed that much SPDF to take Focus Blast from DOS, but I needed the defense as well to take Psyshocks. DOS was just a nightmare. Dragon Darts was because Physical Stab was hit them a lot better, and Fire Blast was so I could hit Mega Scissor. Medicham, I'm actually very proud of this set, because it has 2 fighting moves Fake Out Substitute. Basically, I realised that if I had Medicham in, and they got Ditto in on Medicham, something auto-dropped, right? It was really bloody scary. And so then I was like, hang on, what if I make a Medicham that's totally walled by Dragon Ball? And so I did. And I'm not going to say that comes in handy, but it does a little bit. But anyway, yeah, I've given you a brief review of the team. Let's just go over last week really quickly, as a sort of post-con. Let's turn the music off, switch sides. Anyway, I was looking at this team, and I looked at what they brought, and it was more or less what I expected. I forgot Helmet was on Corviknight, was also Zarude. But you can see all the pieces that I was worried about. They also have a Cyclozar. I didn't mention because it didn't actually cause me much trouble in the fight. Spoilers. But yeah, I was looking at this and I was thinking, okay, Medicham either beats or like takes 1 from absolutely everything here, and if they lead Ditto, I just go pop for free. So I don't really care. So I'm just going to leave Medicham, as they lead Zarude, and I'm hitting up my calcs, and I see that I will live even a Scarf Power Whip, right? And so I get to sort of, I get to play around with this stuff. I don't live Banded, but I didn't expect Banded. I expected them to predict Corviknight early on anyway. So I stayed in. I wanted to get some free chip. I wanted to learn some things about this thing. So I did stay in. I went for the Fake Out, and they of course get flinched. That damage told me it was offensive, which meant that they weren't trying some Spadef bulk up stuff, was the main thing. And I knew if I stayed in, I took a Darkest Lair, took a power up, I would live it, and I'd Drain Punch most of it back, because Medicham's HP stat is terrible. It's base 60. So it gets a lot back from Drain Punch. So I just go for the Drain Punch. I had absolutely no fear of Drain Punching. And they went for the U-turn. And that damage, 32%, showed me that it was not a power boosting item. So boots or scarf or protective pads or something like that. So that's what I learned from that U-turn. I just went for the Drain Punch, then went into DOS, and look at Medicham go. Look at this damage. That's a resisted hit. That was max HP Dio, I believe. Max HP Dio, resisted hit. Medicham's bonkers, dude. That's not even a strong move, that's 75 base power. That's crazy. But yeah, I believe that told me it was offensive. Actually, did it? Was I adamant this week? I was adamant. Let me have a look at Medicham. This is next week's spread, but... Deoxys Speed. I'm forgetting. Adamant... huge power, or pure power, whatever. Yeah, so it did, what, 44? So that is max HP. That's max HP. There you go, clear as day. So, yeah. Dio's bonkers, Medi's bonkers. Anyway, I have a response set for Dio ahead of time. I didn't really care about it. So I went into Chances, I went into Sizzle, I went into Blissey, sorry. And I thought that's a pretty good double. I like that. So... yeah, I mean, I didn't stay in. I could have stayed in and CC'd, and I would have been able to probably trade, because I did live a Shadow Ball, unless they were specs. And I didn't think they'd be specs, because they needed some speed investment to not get outsped by Pult, like, at all. So max HP, max fresh type would make much sense. And therefore specs would make much sense, in my opinion. So they wouldn't be max HP, they'd be like a bit of HP, a bit of speed, but then max special attack to make most specs. But since they are max HP, they probably weren't max special attack, if you get me. So they were probably a bulky support spread. Anyway, going to Famine, as they go into Sizzle. I'm talking so much, I'm starting to feel like that I was in a PR video again. But anyway, Sizzle, I'm like, okay, what's the situation? I have a Corviknight for this. I don't really fear you. I'm just going to go into Corviknight and see what you want to do. And I believe they knocked me off, if memory serves. They do. So that's unfortunate, because I would have liked to keep the helmet, but it's not the end of the world. And at this point, I'm doing my little calcs. And I'm thinking, right, well, what is Mega Medi range on this thing? And we're going to go back over here, and we're going to go Mega Sizzle, and max HP, close combat. Most of my calcs this game are involving Mega Medi. And I saw if it's max HP Sizzle, I use Spadef, it is about 85%, is how much I need to get it to. If it's Fizdef, it's quite a bit less, it's like 65. Yeah, so, not ideal. I typically aim for mid to high rolls. If I say mid to high roll, it's probably killing. And for the opponent, I just, if it's in the roll, assume it kills. Anyway, they go for an SD as our U-turn. Because I knew I walled a defensive spread. And so, you know, I wanted to sort of scale what they could do, so I go for the U-turn as the SD, and I do 6%. Now, I didn't notice at the time, so because I looked up afterwards, but that is not the right spread. That's interesting. I want U-turn. 2 Omega Scissor, sorry, the number it shows you on Showdown, because when you deal damage to the opponent, they get the exact percentage, but you don't. They always round the number down. I didn't know this. But I also knew that that's at 6%, so it couldn't be any of these. Drop that down. It's looking most like max HP. So maybe they don't round it down. Maybe they round it up. Or maybe they just do to the nearest number, like they would if they were sensible. So maybe they do that. I thought they rounded it down. I read that it rounds it down, but that doesn't make sense if they round it down. So I guess they just round it normally. But that told me that it was not Fizz Def, which meant that Mega Medi range was... Let's put Close Combat back on. Pure Power. Adamant. 78 to 91. What do you know? They're at 78. So I go back into... No, I don't. I go into Milo. Why didn't I go into Medi? Was I in plus 2 BP range? I might have been, if they're offensive. Bullet Punch. Yeah, I was definitely in plus 2 BP range if they're offensive. But we stick Adamant on there. And yeah, definitely in plus 2 BP range. So I go into Cleopatra because I have the Haze. And I outspeed them, which is good to know. And they go for a knockoff, which gets rid of my leftovers, which sucks, but, you know. At this point, I've got a free Scald to fire off, because nothing on their team wants to take a Scald. Nothing at all. The best thing would probably be Cyclozar. But I go for a Recover, because I want to Scout, and they just SD again. And so I'm thinking, okay. And then they double into the Cyclozar on the Haze. Which is decent, to be fair. It's not bad at all. Although that little maneuver did tell me that they probably don't have a U-turn. Right? Because if they did, they would have gone for it instead of that SD if they planned to switch out the next turn. Because if their plan was to bait the Haze so Cyclozar could get him for free, that's fine. But that was just all round worse than going for a U-turn if they had U-turn. So it told me they probably don't have U-turn, which is good knowledge. Anyway, they go into Cyclozar, and when Cyclozar's in, you've got a few options. You can either choose an item to sack off, like it goes for a knockoff, or you just assume it's got Shed Tail. And I assumed it would Shed Tail, and I just went for an Ice Beam. And an Ice Beam was the right play, because they go into the Komodo. For an Ice Beam because I want to get good damage, and I figured there was a good chance they would try and pass into Zarude, but that works as well. It did unfortunately give me no useful information about the Komodo, because Ice Beam would always break its sub like this. But it meant that this thing can't try and set up, which is really big. So it is forced out into the Zarude as I go for a Haze, because I do not want that thing belly drumming on me. I'm not about that life. But Zarude's in, and we know we have an easy Zarude switch every single time, so we go into Corviknight. We don't need to overthink it, we know this thing's not banded, just U-turns, it does negative damage. Back into DOS. DOS, again, I have a switch in every time, I have Blissey, this is why I like these strong defensive cores. They go for a T-Bolt, 9%. That's actually interesting, now I think about it. Did I bring Blissey this team? I was this last game. I'm just using all my spreads from this week, because I am lazy. Thunderbolt. 9%. Oh yeah, so it wasn't offensive. What did it do? I don't remember at the time what the exact calc was. But it like had no offense. Oh, that's an electric train. What's electric train there? Sorry, it had offense. It was like max, but modest. So that was unusual to me. It could be modest, but it was definitely max HP or had some defense or something that we saw earlier. And then it also looks at max special attack as well, so that was good to learn. Anyway, with Blissey in on Dio, which those 4 moves thing I went for, I ain't afraid of no sub, I went for Thunder Wave, and we catch the Cyclozar, which was awesome. Cyclozar Paralyze is a Cyclozar you do not have to fear. Now, I kind of wish I had teleport on this thing, but I wanted my rocks, and I think now is when I actually get my rocks up. So, yeah. They go for a Shed Tail and go into the Komodo. It's not very hard to work out their strategy at this point. And again, on Komodo behind the sub, my switch is Milotic because it has to be. They go for the Jab, looking to catch the Lele, which was fine for me. I'm glad I didn't poison, because that would have sucked, because I'm not even Marble Scale. But they go for the Clanging Scales, which tells me they're mixed. I think I went for the Ice Beam or the Haze, and then the Throat Spray pops. So, at this point, I know they're Clanging Soul, because they're Throat Spray. I also know that because my Milo's spread, I don't die from anything from here. Because I know how much they did with Jow, I know how much they did with Scales. I don't remember their exact spread, but I know I didn't die from anything, even a CC. And so I was free to recover here. Or maybe Haze, I can't remember what I did. But they do go for the CC trying to catch me, and I live it, like a bouse, and I go for a recover. I'm trying to remember what I did this time. I don't remember if I recovered again or I hazed. I think there's a good chance I recovered again. Because I think this thing switches. Yeah, they're going to Zarude on another recover. So Milo is still doing its job. Komodo has not been chipped, but rocks are up. Scizor it has demonstrated its SD and no U-turn. So Roost is unlikely. So not Roost, Defog, because it's going to have Roost and BP. So that's really good. And this thing has consumed its Throat Spray, so its special attacking isn't nearly as scary. But anyway, they're going to Zarude, and I have an easy Zarude switch every time. I figured eventually they would get impatient and start going for Darkest Lariats, which they do, which is great for me because it gives me an opportunity to roost up while they go into Scizor. And I figured, for them, this is the time you go for the defog if you have it. Right? Milo is my switch anyway, which is what makes us so decent. But I don't go for a U-turn, I go hard into Milo as they go for a roost. I would have loved a defog there. I would have loved a defog because I would have got a kill. Because Milo is super strong at +2. It's surprisingly potent offensively. But I don't. I just stay and go for Scald, and I get a burn on my first Scald, which I do feel a bit bad about. But yeah, I walled this thing anyway. I absolutely walled this thing anyway. It'd have to get to +6 and to beat Corv, and to beat this, it would have needed a miracle and a half. I would have stalled it so easily. I go for another one as they SD again, and then I haze as they roost. I had this thing all day. I could have stalled it quite easily. With leftovers, I'd have stalled it piss easy, but you know. Then they go into Dio on assuming I think a haze, but I go for a Scald on the way in, and then I get another Scald burn, which is really unfortunate for my opponent. That said, this thing was still dead to rights anyway because it died to another switch into rocks, unless it had recover. Which it could have had, to be fair, and if it had it probably should have clicked it here, but they didn't click it here. They go for the T-Bolt, and I recover the damage off, and Deoxys dies. So first kill, 26 turns in. But I'm feeling pretty good, because Milo's full, Corv's full, Blissy's nearly full, Polkashot's nearly full, and I have 2 unrevealed Pokemon, which is awesome. They have a burned Scizor, a paralyzed Cyclizar, Komodo with its item consumed, a Zarude that can't touch me, and a Ditto. So it's 6-5, yeah, but I'm in a really good position. And also have Rocks up, which is huge. They go into Zarude again, and I just go into Corv. I do not need to overthink it at all. There's no reason to overthink this anytime. They U-turn, and they go out into the Komodo. And I figure this is them going, okay, I've lost my Dio, which is probably this main way of killing this Corviknight. It reminds me, I'm pretty sure they had something. Hang on. I'm pretty sure they had something to, like, really hurt me. Who was it? It was Brett. Where's Brett's team? They had a Killer Wattrel, yeah. I was surprised Killer Wattrel didn't come. They had a Killer Wattrel. But anyway, I was actually very afraid of Killer Wattrel. I was very afraid. It was part of the reason my Blister was so much for death. Because Killer Wattrel Volt switched on me all day. And if they just ran Boots, like, I had no switching to Killer Wattrel at all, because then they could go Killer Wattrel into this thing on a Volt Switch, and Blissy's in trouble, and if they cycled me around with Rocks up and all this nonsense, you know, it would have been bad. Anyway, they go into Komodo, and at this point I'm thinking there's no way they're attacking. If they've got Poison Jab Scales, Close Combat, the last move's not Flamethrower, right? It's Clangor of Soul, because it would be weird to run Throat Spray without Clangor of Soul, in my opinion. So, yeah, I didn't fear this thing actually attacking this time, which is why I didn't actually hard switch. I went for a U-turn, as they do go for the Clangor of Soul. And U-turn is big because it gets chip off. And I went into the Milo because I knew I took any one hit and I could haze it away. Now they Terra eventually, finally, and they go for a CC, which does an absolute fuck ton. Go for a haze, and then I went out into the Corviknight as they went for another Clangor of Soul. And this was like a weird moment for me, because I actually checked. Body Press does not kill. I'm pretty certain it did not kill. Corv. I want to be accurate. I want to be accurate with you guys. Throat Spray Sweeper. Terra Steel. At +1 defense. Body press 31 to 37, it's saying. Oh, maybe it would have killed. Oh no, I didn't go for it. I wonder why I didn't go for it. I remember. I remember. I think it was because I was worried about their nature or something. I think it was their nature or something like that. And also I didn't know really how much bulk they're running because most of the damage done to them have been self-inflicted. And I also thought it was plausible they switch at this point, even though it'd be weird. So they went for the CC. I take the defense drops, and I U-turn, do 7, 17. And at this point, I'm like, okay, let's calculate Lele. They're at neutral, but they're Terra Steel, and they are bulletproof. So I didn't have Future Sight. Psychic and Moonblast. I think I had Psy Shock that week. No, that's Psychic, okay. Psychic and Moonblast were my plays. And this is doing way more damage than I remember it doing at the time. Is something different here that I'm missing? I don't know, maybe I calculated some bulk at the time. But basically I was like, okay, because of that U-turn, they're not a minus defense nature, they're mixed, so they're probably minus SPDEF, is how I worked it out. And so because they're minus SPDEF, I think I must have calculated with +1 SPDEF. I think I must have, because yeah, their Moonblast is 17 that just about kills. Because I know when to go into Lele and I click Moonblast over Psychic because I didn't want them to be able to abuse this with something else. But yeah, I don't know why I forgot that they were neutral defenses. I think I'm just an idiot. Anyway, they go into Sizzle. I switch out into Corviknight because I know I can roost on a single day. They go for a knockoff, which does absolutely fuck all. And at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about my position in the battle. They're just getting chipped down. They go for another SD as I go for a U-turn. And this bit I don't really get. I go into Medicham, right, because the Psychic Terrain's about to run out. And this thing's almost in Drain Punch range. And I'm like, okay, well, I could go in during Psychic Terrain and be immune to the BP. But Drain Punch won't always kill, and if I'm at -1 defenses, then they can maybe get something going with Cyclozar and Zarude and Ditto, especially. Ditto only if they get really in on Lele. Pult is actually walled by Lele. I mean, when you're building a team against the Ditto, you want everything on your team to be walled by something else on your team. That's something I like to do. And this Pult is walled by Lele. Pretty well. So, or at least Lele switches into it. So, yeah, anyway, I went on this thing, Psychic Terrain runs out in the process, I fake it out for a good amount of chip, and of course another round of burn, definitely in Drain Punch range. They don't even go for the BP, which was weird. I don't really get that. But yeah. After this I go to Zarude, I don't know if they're trying to chip me into range or something, but I knew I lived this hit. But they missed it anyway, which was unfortunate, but it would not have made a difference. Medi gets another kill, Cyclozar would have been outside, so they go Ditto, the whole... You know, Pult walls this plan, comes into action. They go for the fake out, which does nothing. I go for the darts, and kill the Cyclozar. They copy Pult with Ditto, and I know that I've got a free switch into Lele. They know I've got a free switch into Lele too, but it doesn't matter, because they go for the right move and Fire Blast, and they would have needed... I don't know, there's nothing they could have done. They would have needed 2 crits, I think, and they got 1 crit. No, they couldn't have done it with 2 crits. I'm just a genius. Anyway, I got the 6-0, which was wonderful. And that's all done for that. We're 24 minutes in, and we've not even started on the battle that this video is about. So, sorry it's taken a while, but I did want to go over week 2 because I didn't manage to record it. So, that is week 2 done. Let's close that. And let's talk about week 3. Now, week 3, hopefully this doesn't close. It has. Joy. Week 3 is against Wolfram, I believe they're called, who was a substitute into the league, but has won both of their games so far. And I think they're actually... Let me get the doc back up again, because I think they're doing very well. Let's get the leaderboard. Not leaderboard, standings. Wolfram, yeah, they are 2-0, +6 diff, which is pretty good, and it's quite scary. So, I knew I was going to have to bring something interesting for this. And now, if you have a look at the team, a few things stand out. Firstly, maybe not the most obvious thing to stand out, but Terra Swallow. Terra Swallow is really, really, really good into me. It's really good. It outspeeds everything on my roster except for Pult. And Swallow absolutely nukes me. It absolutely nukes me. It can run Modest as well, which isn't nice. But yeah, choice specs, Scrappy, Terra Normal, Boomburst. Which was its Terra typing that it drafted. If we look even into Blissey, it does 37 to 44, which is huge. Into my Fizdef Corviknight, it 2 KOs, which is bonkers. Swallow is a huge, huge threat, and I'm expecting it to come. What is also quite a big threat, maybe more. Sorry, things come back. Maybe more than you'd expect is Zoroark, because Blissey checks Zoroark all day long, but Blissey can't hurt it back at all, because it's immune to Estos and it's immune to Shadow Ball. So Blissey cannot be the check. I actually don't have a good check, because it turns out Zoroark H gets Grass Knot, and if I use my Milo to try and check a Zoroark H, even if I know 100% of the time which one it is, this one please, they can have Grass Knot, and if they are Grass Knot, then A, that's just doing a ton every time anyway, but if they are Life Orb Grass Knot, then they can OHKO me after a plot, and that's really bloody scary. So I don't want to mess around with that. If I can avoid it, which is why I'm generally going for a pretty high pressure route. Blissey's the only thing that will let Zoroark in for free, and yeah, I think it's just going to take some good prediction. The problem is that Shadow Ball is incredibly free against me, because if Blissey comes in, Blissey can't do shit against it, and they just get 6 plots. It's for that reason that I would consider running something like Crook, so at least Shadow Ball isn't quite so free. But Crook isn't as good against everything else, like literally everything else, Crook isn't very good. And apart from Clodsire, it's good against Clod. But the rest of the team, because the game can be won and lost over one Pokemon, but typically it is a team effort. Let's talk about it. First Pokemon on the team is Medi. Now, Medi has an interesting speed situation in this game, because it does share a speed tier with Zapdos, and it's a bit faster than Kyurem. However, Zapdos very, very rarely runs max speed Timid, right? I think it's very, very unlikely, but I don't want to risk it, because I have to run Jolly anyway for Kyurem. Kyurem, by the way, I think will be Scarf. Kyurem or Feeny will be Scarf, because they'll want a revenge killer for Pult. One of the two will be Scarf. I think it could well be Feeny, because Feeny also revenge kills Medi, because if we look at Medicham against Kyurem, well, it specs Kyurem, but if we go choice Scarf Kyurem, it needs a roll to kill me with Draco, which is not ideal for that. They have to go Timid, even though Modest chance to be Pult, because of Crook. And Crook is a plausible Scarfer here, I think. I think it's definitely plausible. And I personally would respect it. They may not, and that would be a good play for them, because I'm not bringing it, but yeah. What else have I got to talk about here? Mediset in general, I was so close to bringing CC. I'm so close, but Bulk Up has to be the way, I think. Because the switch for Medi is something I've thought about quite a bit. It's either going to be Zapdos or Feeny. And the thing with Zapdos is it doesn't take my hits that well. Bear in mind, this is telepathy. You always do telepathy as the pre-mega ability, so in case you have to switch into a foul play. But I will change it to be auto Pure Power in a bit. But basically, Rock Slide will do a ton. Rock Slide is the same power as Ice Punch, which is the traditionally run move, but of course Rock Slide is not a contact move, which is why I'm running it. It has slightly worse all-round coverage, but I needed it. Actually, it's slightly better, because it hits the Kyurem and it hits the Feeny better than Ice Punch would. Hits Gallade worse, but Gallade's not switching in. And actually, I welcome Gallade once I've got a Bulk Up off, because they cannot do that much to me. Zen Headbutt doesn't kill me from full. And with a Bulk Up off, I can do some work on it. I can do serious work. Drain Punch will do a lot, and Zen Headbutt will kill. But the main purpose for Bulk Up is because if they run Max Fizdef Zapdos, I am doing 85 to 100 to it, which is huge damage. It's enormous damage. And basically that is how I'm going to try and break upon Zapdos. If they run Fizdef Tapu Fini, a little bit more annoying. But when I catch up with Drain Punch, Zen Headbutt or 2 on the switch, once I work out that it is the switch, then I've got that. Which is going to do a ton. Bretta, I was really tempted, that is to say Blissey, I was really tempted to run aromatherapy in case I do get staticked, but I couldn't fit it. I couldn't fit it. Seismic Toss is pretty mandatory. I would love T-Wave in this game. I would have loved T-Wave. No, not T-Wave. I'm thinking of a different matchup, sorry. I did want Toxic. Toxic was better. In case, because it is my Zapdos switch, and I want to be able to come in on Zapdos, threaten it with Toxic. If it wants to go Feeny, I can stay in, unless I think it's Scarf, then I want to stay in. Actually, who is my Scarf taker? But anyway, if it's defensive Feeny, I can stay in, I can just toss it. Who would I switch into if I think it's Scarfini? I guess it would be Lele. If it's Scarf, if I know it's Scarfini and I think it's going to trick, I'll go Lele. Metachan would be ballsy. Metachan would be very ballsy. Feeny's a better mid-ground play. But yeah. Metachan otherwise shreds everything. It's obviously afraid of Zoroark, which is why I think Zoroark's so likely to come. Zoroark's so likely to come because it revenges Medi really well. It's immune to Fake Out, doesn't take too much from Bullet Punch, and it just, I was very tempted to try Trailblaze as well, but Trailblaze I just can't fit. Because I need Zen Headbutt and Drain Punch, and I need Rock Slide for Zapdos. I am not going without Rock Slide, because I don't want to be chancing 30% every time they switch Zapdos into Medi, and even if it's only once or twice, that's a risk I don't really want to take. Mirror Coat Milotic, I'm sure may have got your attention. That is because it is weird. The main purpose is for Kyurem. The main purpose is for Kyurem. Because Kyurem is a bit of a nightmare. I typed in the wrong Pokemon. And I can delete it turn 1, potentially. Also helps me with setup Feeny. So Tapu Fini, if it's Calm Mind, even a +6 Draining Kiss does not do that much. And if you take 154, which is the minimum damage, double it, that's 308. That is doing most of its HP. And if it's got investment, then it's just going to do more and more. Do I live a +6 Moonblast? I should. Yeah, I live a +6 Moonblast if they're not invested. So if they're defensive Calm Mind, I can, in a pinch, check it with Milotic. I did want Ice Beam, but I think Mirror Coat is better. Also a way to deal with Swallow. I'm not going to bother calculating it again, because we saw how much damage it does. It does like 70. Corv, I had a time with. I'm still not sure if I want U-turn on there. But the thing is, I need Brave Bird for the Gallade. Corv, sorry, loud chair. Corv at worst trades with Gallade, because Corv will take a +2 close combat. And I will do 85 min with a Brave Bird without the defense drops. I believe anyway. Let's get the calc up. You got to do all your pre-game calcs. So you have a better idea where you're going again. Yeah, 86.6 to 102 without defense drops. And close combat will do quite a lot, but it will never kill, which is fantastic. It will kill after a round of rocks, though. If there's a rocks and a leftovers recovery, so I'll be sitting at 94. What is the roll then? Actually, 94. The roll is 18%, so it's in my favor. But not ideal still. That is what that's for. Body Press is for a more reliable move that I can use against Orthworm and I can use against Kyurem if I'm expecting it. But I'm now thinking, do I really need the press? Maybe, maybe not. Because Corviknight is my Orthworm switch as well. I can't forget Orthworm does deserve a switch in, like, dedicated one. And yeah. Bretta, as I say, Zapdos, Kyurem is another one. Oh no, Milotic, that's what it's for. Milotic is for Dragon Dance Kyurem. Dragon Dance as well as Dragon Dance Mixed. Like an uninvested freeze dry. Because Corviknight cannot take on both Specs, well it can't take on Specs at all, but it can't take on like even the Specs freeze dry and Dragon Dance, it just can't do it. And I think DD Kyurem is perfectly possible. I think DD Kyurem is very possible actually. Which reminds me, there's no way Medi takes a +1 Icicle Spear, is there? From Dragon Dance Kyurem. Oh, what's wrong with that? You may have learned, I'm not actually completely decided on this team. I'm pretty sure I am. Yeah, no way. If they're offensively invested, especially if they're loaded dice. If they're not loaded dice, I could live a 3-hit Spear at +1. which is good to know. If I'm at +1, do I live a 5-hit spear? It's close. That's good to know, though. That's very good to know ahead of time. And Drain Punch will, of course, delete it. What else is there? I expect Persian could come. Oh yeah, Tog, Lele. This set was a little bit of a while of thought, but I eventually came to it because A, they have lots of stuff that Lele Revenge kills really well. B, it speed ties Scarf Curum, which is why I'm max speed timid. You can't see my showdown. I have 2 monitors. I have this pace so you can see it, and I have my showdown on my right screen. So, you know, I mean, I probably should be. I don't know a better way to do this, so apologies. But yeah, so Psychic, Future Sight, Moonblast, Focus Blast. The main reason I'm going Future Sight is because I didn't know what else to put there. I could go Scarf Aromatherapy if I want to be that guy, which I could be that guy. But Future Sight is good because it does force them to switch around, and if they don't have Persian and they're relying on their switching to be something like AV Orthworm, then a Future Sight going off and then me going into something like... I can honestly go hard Medi. I don't think Orthworm gets anything that punishes Medi. Does it? Let me check. Orthworm. Toxic. No. Thunderwave. No. Good. Ghost move. Just Curse. Fairy move? No. Flying move? No. How much does Heavy Slam do to Medi? Mega Metacham. Orthworm. Heavy Slam, like a third. So if I get Lele's Future Sight off as they switch into this, I go into Lele and I get a guaranteed Drain Punch. Because if they want to go into Zoroark, Future Sight will Oko it. So that's a really good application of it. That is the main reason why I'm going to be using it. Because Medi can switch into Orthworm pretty freely, and I can fire off a Drain Punch. Will Drain Punch plus Future Sight kill Zapdos? That's a good question. Plausibly, by the looks of it. 73 to 85. Metacham with Pure Power. 73 to 85. I mean, I'd need a pretty decent roll, but I could. And if I want to read that, I can go for the Zen Headbutt. But I will probably just Drain Punch. Because even if they live the Drain Punch, I can then go for Rock Slide the turn after, because I will outspeed or at very worst speed tie. Actually, no, if they speed tie, I'll kill. Because then they will be max speed timid, they're at best max HP to take both hits. And then I will do min 30% with Drain Punch. So I will be fine. Last set, which is the one you may have been looking at the longest because it's perhaps the strangest, is Dragapult. Now, Dragapult I was sat on the set for such a long time because it was such a difficult decision on the set because they actually have very bad ghost resists, although they have a lot of them, right? It's weird that the phrase is like that. Not very bad is very harsh, but none of them are bulky, right? Alolan Persian is not bulky, Swallow is not bulky, Zoroark is not bulky. But if we take a classic Specs Dragapult, and we go Terra Ghost, which I can do, and we also run Modest, which I can probably do, and we take a Persian A, they are getting Oko by Draco. I think even if they are like fully sped F careful. No, not Oko, but taking a ton. And then I'm still doing a massive chunk of Shadow Ball. Swallow and Zoroark obviously also get Oko by Draco, unless there's some AV nonsense. The thing is, though, is that all three incredibly hard punish locking into Shadow Ball, especially Swallow. Swallow most of all. Swallow is the main reason. And I'm actually genuinely very scared of the Swallow. Because, think about it, if I lock myself into Shadow Ball, they have Scrappy, Choice Specs, and they're going to click Boom Burst. I'm getting deleted with Pult. I'm taking at least 40% on Blissey, and if rocks are up and I'm not at full, or my leftovers are gone, Blissey's in a really difficult spot. Swallow's a nightmare, and you know, Swallow's a reason I need to get my rocks up early, because even if it will Terra, the initial wave of rocks is super important. It's super important. I really want BP Medi as well, that's another thing I want on Medi, to keep Swallow in check, but I just can't do it because I need my other moves. So yeah, this Medi's not supposed to sweep, by the way, it's just supposed to break Zapdos, and if I get the bulk up late game, maybe it will sweep, but generally it's just supposed to break Zapdos. The reason I've gone for this Pult in particular is because, Shadow Ball, yes, is very punishable on this team, which is unusual because most teams it's good because it is so difficult to punish. I've gone with a mixed set because I think that it's very difficult for them to punish, even if it is easier for them to wall, per se, with safe switches. So, for example, Spadef Feeny walls it pretty decently, but let's go Dragapult anyway. Dragapult doesn't even kill this thing, god damn. I mean, it does a lot. But I don't know. This is turning into a really long intro thing. I didn't mean for it to be. I'm going to split the video in two. But basically, I'm going with this Dragapult set because it just does the most to everything. I mean, if you look at Tapu Fini, right? Tapu Fini, max HP. Shadow Ball does decent against it. And the thing is, with sub and disable, if they want to come in and start moonblasting me, that's fine. I'll moonblast the sub, I'll disable it, and then from then on, my substitutes cannot be broken by their Skulls or Surfs or Hydros even. I don't think they're broken by Hydro. Hydro Pump. No. And that's the thing. I could have ran plus attack, plus special attack, minus defense or Spadef, but I actually couldn't in this matchup. That's the thing. I actually couldn't because let me show you another thing. Another pretty significant calc is that this Gallade, Shadow Sneak, which is very likely to come in my opinion, I need a lot of HP investment to live it after rocks, right? Or indeed after a sub and 2 rounds of leftovers, however you want to look at it. I can't do that if I'm minus defense. If I'm minus Spadef, then guess who suddenly breaks my sub? Thunderbolt Zapdos. So it's a weird situation, but I do have to run a neutral nature. I have to. There's no other option. I'm running speed, not very much speed, 351. It's for Gallade. The reason I'm doing that is because I think Swellow runs speed for Medicham, and I can't really touch Swellow anyway. I struggle with Swellow anyway. I think Swellow's going to run not a lot of speed at all, because I think it's going to run Modest first and foremost. In fact, how fast is Modest Swellow? Modest Swellow is 349, yeah, so I outspeed that. Actually, I think I was 350 for a while, then I was like, hang on, Glade 350 as well, so I'd probably go 351. But yeah, this is rough. I would have liked Sub Willow Hex, if not for Misty Terrain. Sub Willow Hex, if not for Misty Terrain, would have been probably a lot better. But, you know, I'm having to go Disable. Thunderbolt was another option. It was definitely another option for Fini. But it just does not do enough. So, I'm going to stop talking there. I've talked genuinely way too much about these two games. I'm going to upload this as a sort of double video. I'm going to have a timestamp in the middle. I'm going to timestamp for talking about the prep for this one, talking about the game for this one, and of course, the game originally. But yeah, I've done a lot of yappering. I'm going to give my throat a break now. I'm really hoping I'm going to win this game because this is in stark contrast to another league that I was planning to record. But the first league I got a forfeit loss because I accidentally broke the rules regarding Terra, and I've lost every game since. I'm having a terrible time over there. It's Colo, if you know that league, Coliseum. I'm 0-4. It's the worst ever start to a league I've ever had. I'm like minus 17 diff. It's shocking. But other leagues I'm doing okay. I was planning to upload and record BPL, which is my quote-unquote main league. It's the league that I do put a lot of time into. That and OBS are the ones I put most attention into because I'm a moderator there, but I'm moderator in both, but I've been in BPL a lot longer than OBS. And also I'm not doing as well in BPL, so I put a bit more attention into it. I'm doing well there, but the problem is I haven't recorded in the first 3 weeks because, I'll be honest, I didn't like the team very much. The team was okay. It's not as good as this roster for sure. But I'm 2-1, which was alright, and my week 2 I lost arguably because of hacks. So yeah. Maybe I'll start recording that. If you guys want more videos, I'll start recording that, especially once I'm back at university and I have more free time and I have more space as well, and I just have a better setup. But for now, I think that will be it. I don't think I have else to say. Oh, one more thing. There's another league, 2 more things actually. LDL. I've not forgotten about LDL, but LDL has forgotten about LDL. The league has been struggling massively and is basically dying, I think. Or at the very least this season is, because it's still a Gen 8 league, and we're a couple of months into Gen 9. I did actually have a playoff game, and I did win it, so I'm in the last four. But I don't really fancy recording it, because I know I've recorded most of this season, but what was I going to say? I've recorded most of this season, but the playoff games, there's not a whole lot of interest from either side. I mean, the game was alright, the game was pretty decent. I thought I played pretty well. So maybe am I even thinking of the right game? The one with the Palisand? No, I'm not. I think of the wrong game. The one with the Palisand, what game was that? That was BPL. I might show you that game, because that game was good fun. I might record that after this, actually. But yeah, anyway, I will thank you for watching this. For now, anyway. I know this isn't the end of the video, actually. I'm going to cut to battle after this. But I'm not doing that battle for another 3 hours or so. So I will see you then, and I will let you know of any changes that I make to this team ahead of time. But for now, see you later. Hello, and welcome back. We're in the battle. I had a bit of a stressful moment then, because nothing was working, but it appears to be working now. Let's just go with it. They have brought quite an interesting group. Excuse me while I reload this, I'm in a little bit of a hurry. That doesn't matter if you see, because I'll have to upload this after that draft is done. OBS. Right. Right now I'm thinking Medi for lead. Zapdos could well lead. What did they not bring? Didn't bring Zero. Oh, it didn't bring Zero or Swallow. Perfect. Okay, I'm running Medi. I'm leading Medi. I didn't realize I didn't lead. I didn't realize I did not lead. Goodness me. Sorry. I'm breathless today. They lead Orthworm. I lead Medicham. Perfect. Medicham into Orthworm. I mean, I get a free bulk up on this. So they are Choppel. So I need to keep setting up. I need to keep setting up. They are Choppel. That's good that I didn't go straight for an attack. Bulk up again. They go for rocks. Tapu Fini one-shot me. Tapu Fini. Moonblast. Appears to be. Orthworm through the Choppleberry. No, we still don't. Only for the bulk up. Tapu Fini. Okay, so this thing, Illumise. What are you gonna do? Illumise, Thunder Wave. You could be Thunder Waving. If you're Thunder Waving, I don't really want part of that. Will Milotic break this thing's sub? Milotic, Illumise. Possibly. I'm not taking risks with this thing. But that Orthworm is definitely Choppel. And good to know the thing's set. It only has one attacking move. Reliable attacking move. They go for the U-turn, so they get rid of the sub.
go into the Fini. Okay. We do 11% and they're leftovers. Tapu Fini. Calm Mind. Skull does 11%. So that's Fizz Def. Good to know. And it's leftovers. I'm happy just to Scald and see what happens. But I also know that's not a good idea. So I'm just going to flip turn. They go for the Calm Mind. I thought so. Go for the flip turn. Get Blissey in. I'm going to set my rocks up. Okay, fine. I do win this 1v1. I've done this before. You do nothing to me. 29% from Blissey. Let's just check. Yeah, it's just fully Fizz Def. And at +3, a Draining Kiss is going to recover 20%. So I'm going for a Toxic. Fine. People think this set beats Blissey, it doesn't. Not reliably. How much does Metacham juice this thing? Metacham to Fini, 41%. Okay, good to know. So I like leftovers. Yep, they go for the Draining Kiss. I land the Toxic. Cool. Not a threat anymore. Okay. I still beat you. I still beat you pretty comfortably. And this is a check to Medi. That's letting itself die here. Or at the very least get severely chipped. They go into the Gallade. I'm just gonna go into... I'm very tempted to go into Fini actually. Lele. Tapu Lele on Gallade. Mega. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Because basically, I think they're going for a CC or an SD. Because they're trying to catch Corviknight. I don't think they knock. I think knock doesn't make sense. 252. Close combat. Knockoff. Does knockoff 2KO me? It would. Knockoff would suck, but I don't think they're going for it. They go for the SD. Very nice. Free Moonblast. Very nice. Very, very nice. Good aggressive switch. Good aggressive switch. You'd love to see it. Yeah, because they were never clicking knockoff there. They were clicking CC to kill the Blissey, or they were clicking SD to try and take advantage of the Corv. They were never clicking knockoff. Or even Zen Headbutt. Knockoff would have been a massively ballsy read. Although not bad, if I was like Helmet Corv, it would not have been a bad move to try and deal with it later, but given they've just taken a toss, they're working on limited health, that could be an issue for them. So, I can see why they've done this, but at the same time I also think I made the right play. Because I just made a hard read. And sometimes you need to take those hard reads. And they have not got a good switch into this at all. Not a good switch in at all. So yeah, that was a great play by me, if I do say so. Actually, do I Psychic? No, I Moonblast. Just be safe. This guy can't do anything. Something's probably dropping. If not dropping, taking a ton. Tapu Fini probably dies to 2 from this range. It does 36 to 42, so yeah, it will die. Good aggressive switch. Because in that context, I had to switch, right? I had to switch. They sacked the Fini. Cool. They sacked the Fini. They sacked the Fini. Turtok gets a kill. That's very good for me, obviously. Finito is no more. Finito is finito. And that drops. I'm so glad Zoroark is in this team. Zoroark could be a nightmare. Right. Cool. That thing's dead. Gallade has been scared out, and so they did not manage to take advantage of that chance thing at all, Blissey thing at all. In fact, they actually are worse off for it. And at this point, I'm going back into Pork Chop. Let me just check. Metacham on Orthworm. I mean, on Lele, they need Heavy Slam to kill. So Heavy Slam is the move, unless they're bluffing it hard. Heavy Slam will do about half to Medi. I don't know if Medi's the play, actually. I think I might go Sample Text. Oh no, maybe I don't. I don't know. I don't know what this thing's going to do. I'm just going to go Pork Chop, I think. Because they are Colbur. Chopple. They're Choppleberry. I'm just going to go Pork Chop. They go for the Heavy Slam. Now we have a bit of a 50-50 here. So Zen Headbutt will do... Sorry, Rock Slide even. Because if I go for the Bulk Up and they have Heavy Slam, I will live and I'll be fine. If I go for a Rock Slide, they'll bounce back about 60 hit points, which I will live. However, well, I'll bounce back about 90 there. That's a roll to kill me with Metal Burst, assuming they're the set I think they are. I'm going to go for the Zen Headbutt. Because I think... the mid-roll 66, so 99, I would barely live. I would barely live. And maybe Rock Slide. Rock Slide is the better flinch, right? I'm going to go Rock Slide. I go for the Rock Slide, do 16, they go for a Heavy Slam, and they kill. Fair play. Fair play. Right. At this point, though, I go Dragapult. At this point, I go Dragapult. Let me just quickly check Medi's calc. Metacham... did 16% with Rock Slide, so they might have a bit of Spadef. 16% with Rock Slide. So, no Spadef? Okay, no, it's not Spadef at all. Right, I definitely misplayed them. If it's Spadef, then Dragapult comes in, and Shadow Ball does not necessarily kill. Does Tapu Lele's Psychic kill? Let's have a look. Psychic does 28 to 34. I don't have a great option here, unfortunately. I might have to go Corv and clear the hazards and just go back a step. I misplayed that pretty hard. That's unfortunate. But I did definitely misplay that. Oh, Medi could have been so good. Yeah, there's Zapdos, obviously. I'm going Bretta, because I have to. They are doing 11.8 with Volt Switch to Blissey. That is, I'm guessing, defensive. 11.8 with Volt Switch. No. It's not offensive either. But it's like 100 EVs. Okay, could it be like nothing modest? It could be. Right, that's interesting. They have about 315 special attack. Which is very good for me to know. The thing now is Corviknight could switch into Gallade because there's no rocks up. Gallade. I mean, how much? Oh, does Orthworm die to this? Orthworm to yeah, Bretta. 29. No, it doesn't die. I'm really upset about the way I played that midi. I should have just gone Milo. There was no risk to Milo. I go Milo, I click Scald, it accomplishes something. They go Kyurem, I can Mirror Coat them, happy days. They go into this, right. So you are Dragon Dance. Pretty obviously, I think. I'm gonna click Toxic. But they know I have Toxic, so they're gonna be sub, are they? If they just go straight for a Icicle Spear, if they're max special attack, get 4 hits, fucking tons. Only for a toss. I think they sub. Yeah. They take the sub with the sub, but that's fine. Alright, Corviknight. Okay. This is a threat, undeniably. I get Corviknight here. And we've got Body Press. I should take this reasonably well, depending on their investment. If they do too much, I'll be able to work out that Adamant, at which point Lele might be able to revenge it. Icicle Spear is 11, that's a big crit. There's 2 crit, bro, that's massive. That's huge. Okay, 2 crits. 10.8 and 12.8 are the range for each hit. 10.8 and 12.8 are the range for each hit. 10.8%. 10.8 is 40. So it is, I think, oh my god, I don't know. That's so bad. If I go Milotic, I can't break the subs at all, but they can't really beat me. This is bad, man. How does Lele take a hit? Because if they go for another DD here, as they honestly could, that's really bad. They're not leftovers. Lele, a +1 4 hit will kill me, I think. Right. So my play is what? Kyurem gets Body Press, which is probably the other move. How much does Chansey take from this? Bliss even. Oh, this is not it. Those 2 crits on a 5 hit really hurt. They really hurt. Blissey takes a lot. I just have to Body Press. I think I just drop. I think I drop and I chance it with Lele. I think I have to. Wait, this thing was a Terra Captain, wasn't it? Oh, that's bad. I've just realised that it's a Terra Captain, wasn't it? Yeah, this thing could be Terra Ice. Does Lele even kill this, then? Terra Ice. Focus Blast will not kill. And this thing will be Terra Ice. At that point I would have to go Blissey and Revenge. But no, they'll have Sarah Sneak on the thing, so I need to preserve. But then again, I can't let her get a sub up. I can't let her get a sub up. I cannot let her get a sub up. Can Dragapult take one? Dragapult. Icicle Spear. Terra Dragon. Terra Ghost even. It's quite likely that I do take one. And I can disable it. It's quite likely I do take one. It's quite likely. I just need it not to hit 5 times and get the roll. Wait, hang on. Oh wait, if they're Terra Ice, I die. Doesn't matter, I have to go for it. I don't know if Lele can win. Lele can maybe win. They're Terra Ground. Come on, live. Bro! These Icicle Spear rolls, dude. Okay, at this point, Milotic. It's Terra Ground. If they have Freeze Dry, it will not do that much. I wonder what they're Terra Ground for. I really did not need that 5 hit. They're going to Illumise. That's honestly fine by me. I think I go Lele. Wait, Milotic, Illumise, max HP. Okay, Lele. Psychic will do 65 min. Yeah, I think I'd just take it. And block it with a Psychic Terrain. Okay, that's alright. Curum. Dragon Dance. It's not max HP. Ground. Future Set does the most to it, which sucks. I can still win this. I can definitely still win this, but those Icicle Spear rolls really sucked. Those Icicle Spear rolls really sucked. Those Icicle Spear rolls sucked ass. I'm nearly at the end of the time I allotted for this, which sucks because I have a football game on to go watch. But I'm not giving up on this game. I can win through Lele. I don't think they expected me to go Lele. They're going to Gym. At which point they're going to get their rocks up. Or they could just attack. I'm going to go... I want to get my rocks up, I think. But I don't know if I really do. I do want to get my rocks up, I don't know at what cost. Okay, get my Stealth Hook up. What do I S-Toss? I don't know. I could Toxic. How fast is Fourth One? It's faster than me. Okay. I do kind of have to heal and get my rocks up. I mean, do they switch? I don't know if they switch. I do want my rocks up though. Blissey doesn't kill Orthworm from this range, I don't think, does it? Blissey... Orthworm... No, there's 29. I'm gonna get my rocks up. I want those rocks up. I want to chip away at Curum, because I don't think Curum can do much to Milo. Bro, that fucking Icicle Spear bullshit. The 5 hits on Pult really sucked. But I mean, I know it's loaded dice, but, you know, then the double crit on fucking... sample text. The double crit made it so that they didn't need to get 4 hits in the next one. They needed... I don't know if they needed both those hits, they definitely needed at least one. Which sucks. We trade rocks. I really want to toss. And a toxic. I'm faster. That's good to know. Oh, that's very good to know. Okay, now I just soft world spam as they get another crit. I just need this thing healthy enough to not lose to Zapdos. That's all of this thing has to do. Not lose to Zapdos. They're going to cure him. It's fine, I'm going into Milotic. I think I should take 2 freeze dries. Milotic, cure him. I should take 2 freeze dries. If they're like naive. Freeze dry. I should take 2. Even with rocks up. They put the sub up, that's fine. I am bulky. A +1 outrage. Go for a scale shot and miss. Scale shot is their stab move. 4 hits against Milo doesn't do enough for them. Milo, this is Terra Ground. Let's see what Milo's doing. 51% of this. It will kill if they stay in. Which means they probably won't stay in. But I would like to Scald everything anyway. So I'm just going to click Scald. They go into Orthworm and sack it. That's fine. They go into Zapdos. And it is not Boots. Which is interesting. I think it's offensive. Because that Thunderbolt before did a lot, didn't it? Or Volt Switch, sorry. Volt Switch inherently is offensive. Blissey did 11.8 with Volt Switch. Did 11.8 with Volt Switch. That makes sense for its offensive. Possibly like Choice Scarf, honestly. It could be Choice Scarf. So if they're that, and I'm Milotic, I'm gonna click Mirror Coat. And I'm gonna delete something. They're bringing Illumise. Illumise dies. Long. Okay. Illumise dies. So at this point, Glade, Mega, click Combat to Milotic is doing. I'm just outside of range. I'm just outside of range. They do go into the Glade. How much does Zapdos take from Lele? Because this could be game. I might have won. And Kyurem? Dragon Dance. Psychic should do an... Yeah, okay, I flipped turn. I flipped turn. I think I've won. I think I win. I think I win. Because Gallade took... How much did it take from Toss? Way back when. Early on. Where is it? Yes, Toss. Seismic Toss to Valiant, 33. Let's see, 33% from Toss. That is bulky. That is bulky. Actually, it's not that bulky. It's about 96 HP EVs. If I have Lele, Psychic should kill after a flip turn. Milotic. If Gallada's Leaf Blade, I mean, I think I win. Depends how much Zapdos does to Lele. If that's Scarf Zapdos, Then Hurricane will do 65 max. So that's a roll if they're Scarf Zapdos. Their only way back in, I think, is Scarf. If that Zapdos is Scarfed, which it could be. It very well could be. That could be the set. Because it's not a power boosting item. It could be Scarf Zapdos. And if it is, then I have to take a hit from it. I will take a Thunderbolt. They go for a CC. They get another crit. Jesus Christ. Gallade Mega from Tapu, even with like 100 EVs, at -1 Spadef. You are not taking this. Psychic. No. So I go in, I click Psychic, click Psychic, click Psychic. How much will Psychic do to Gallade? Without the Spadef drop, 55, it comes back and takes 6 from rocks, I'm still good. I click Psychic. Their only chance, so far as I can tell, is Zapdos is Scarf. Their only chance is Zapdos is Scarf. That's their only chance. As far as I can tell. Oh, good lord, come on. Come on. They go into the Zapdos. Is it Scarf? No. Yes! Oh, I'm the GOAT. Oh my god. I think so. GG. I clicked flip turn. I had it anyway. I clicked flip turn. Oh my goodness. GG's. Oh, I'm so glad I won that. That Curum BS with the crits. That BS with the Curum crits. I should not have sacked Medi so early. I should not have sacked Medi so early. That was my biggest mistake in that battle. But Turgtur came through. I love Scarflele. I love Scarflele. What a Pokemon it is. It's such a good Pokemon. I remember who killed... Oh, Jim died to Rock, so Blissey killed you. Blissey... Hindsight? Didn't actually... Dragon move. Come to think of it, didn't they have to run that Terraset? Does it? Oh, my bad, I missed that. I would have clicked Sable. Either way. Oh, lordy. Doesn't matter. The end though. Oh, Jesus. Not sure Scale Shot mattered. When was that? Against Milo? It's not likely. It might. I did check the Feeny vs Blissey matchup. Yeah, well, happens. Ugh, I'm getting greedy. Well, no, he had to go for the kiss at the last point. People always think that Feeny beats Blissey. It doesn't. Not reliably. But I'm going to stop recording there because I'm stressed and I want to go watch football. So thank you very much for watching. To you too. Good luck with your future games. I will say goodbye to you. I will edit this video. I'll get it up hopefully tomorrow. So yeah, have a good one. Peace.